to everybody out there. Excited to be joining the Sass and Sips family.
Cheers.
Cheers, right? Cheers. Here we go. So, a little bit about me. I am a global breakthrough specialist. I'm CEO and founder of the nonprofit organization Unsilenced Voices. And I help people tell their stories through different modalities, including book publishing, public speaking, launching and growing and building your own nonprofit, and also course content and creation.
Yes, knows that.
Right, there we go. So those of you listening, right, Unsilenced Voices was started out of an adversity that I experienced. So I went through 4 years of a very abusive domestic violence relationship. And coming out of that, I felt God call me to do something even more. So I ended up writing and performing a 65-minute solo play. And that's when people started coming up to me. And Unsilenced Voices was created out of that adversity of me overcoming domestic violence. I speak on a lot of stages worldwide. So in 2019, I wrote my first book and began speaking and coaching. So I run Unsilenced Voices. And of course, we've got a team of people. So these people behind me right here, this is my team in Sierra Leone, and you're missing. So this is Tejan, right? I don't know if people can actually see this, but Philip and Christiana. And this team of people, they are dynamite, right? And it takes a team in order to create sustainable change. So I've got a team for Unsilenced Voices, and we have a team, of course, for my for-profit business. And when I first started speaking and coaching, I started to realize that, you know, it's about helping people tell their stories, and it's collectively us telling our stories that we can make a difference in human trafficking. In 2022, we also did a 4-city tour called A Blanket of Hope. And in that tour, we focused on the main hubs of human trafficking in the nation, in the USA. And that's Tampa, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas, right? These are main hubs, and traffickers are working together in order to expand their $300 billion a year empire. And that's how they think of this, human trafficking, right? And partnering with her, we developed this curriculum to help people overcome their challenges, whether that is DV or sexual violence of some sort, and be able to learn, you know, financial literacy, competency, getting back into the workforce, and also overcoming those challenges. So we have this curriculum, and this curriculum, if you're an organization and you want to be able to teach this, we have workbook, we have trainer's manual, and we have a PowerPoint presentation that people can utilize. Right now, it's being tested and tried at the Mary Martha House in Tampa. And we've got a couple other organizations that are possibly interested in utilizing this, but it's, you know, it's free. We're paying for this. So if your organization wants to see it, use it, you can go to unsilencedvoices.org. You can also just contact me. You can find me. Unfortunately, it's a huge dynamic and injustice that happens worldwide. So statistically speaking, 1 in 3 women worldwide experience domestic violence. They say 1 in 4 in the US. And then internationally as well, 1 in 7 to 9 men experience abuse. And we're not talking a lot about the abuse, especially the sexual violence that happens to young boys who then grow up to be men, adult men. And oftentimes the cycle of abuse continues because we suppress those emotions for a lot of men, which we need to open up and conversate about some of these things that happen so that, you know, instead of popping our collars and saying we're all good and we don't need to discuss this, we can have this open dialect. Because if you're not open, if you're not transparent, if you're not vulnerable, and if you don't discuss some of this, then it comes out as adverse childhood experiences. And then once escaping, it's you have to dive into therapy, counseling, whether it's traditional or non-traditional. You know, you can use different modalities like dance and music and different types of healing, art, painting, sculpting. But really for me, it's speaking. You know, telling our stories. And that could be taking a pen to a piece of paper and doing stream of consciousness writing, being able to just get out what is in your head. And that's probably the very beginning stages of that healing process. Yeah, a little bit. So if you're out there and if you're listening to this, whether you've experienced violence, whether you're going through adversities now, know that you're not alone. And I think this is the main point that we should hit today, is that those individuals experiencing these types of violence, these types of situations, know that you're not alone. Know that there are people out there, there's resources out there that can help you, that can assist you. There's 8 billion people on this planet. They say 50% of entrepreneurs deal with a mental health condition. They say statistics, right, with domestic violence and trafficking that we talked about, sexual violence, men and women, right? We're not even talking about the LGBTQ community, and they have like the highest numbers of domestic violence, suicides, things like this, right? It's up to us to collectively work together and love one another so that we can help each other heal. And know that you're not alone. And this is why open dialogue is so important. You know, it can get pretty heavy. And I want you to know that you can just keep swimming. Right? Whether you are going through adversities, whether you are in the clutches, whether you have, overcome and now you want to use your story, whatever that looks like, right? Just keep swimming. Don't ever give up. Put one foot in front of the other, because that's what's important.